are going to start this lecture with the nature and classification of costs. And it's important for you to understand, if you are provided with the statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income, all of the expenses on that statement will either be classified as product costs or, on the next page, period costs. Now, product costs are costs that are related to manufacturing. So they are manufacturing costs, production costs, or factory costs. On the other hand, period costs have got nothing to do with manufacturing. So these are non-manufacturing costs. And you can see period costs include things like your marketing costs, your admin costs, etc. Now, it's important that you understand the difference between a product cost and a period cost because your accounting treatment is completely different. Let's first look at the accounting treatment for product costs. If a company incurs any product costs or any manufacturing related costs, initially these costs are going to be treated as an asset in your statement of financial position, and the costs are allocated to inventory. So we all know that inventory is an asset on our statement of financial position. So when a company incurs manufacturing or production related costs, we capitalize those costs as an asset included under inventory on our statement of financial position. And it's important to note that we only expense these costs when the product is actually sold. So you guys will know when a company sells inventory, they process two journal entries. First, we have the journal entry for the sale, where they will debit bank or accounts receivable, and they will credit sales. And at the same time, we process another journal entry where we debit cost of sales and we credit inventory. So it's important to understand when a company incurs product costs, which are manufacturing or production costs, initially these costs are capitalized as an asset in your statement of financial position. They are treated as inventory. Then, when the inventory is sold, we only expense the cost. So when the inventory is sold, we take it out of inventory and we take it to cost of sales. So it is only expensed when the product is actually sold. And this is referred to as your matching principle in financial accounting, where you are matching the cost to the period where the sale or the income is earned. On the other hand, the accounting treatment for period costs is completely different. These costs are not included in inventory valuation and are expensed in the statement of comprehensive income in the period that they are incurred. So this is a very simple journal entry. If we incur any period costs or costs that are not manufacturing related, we just debit the expense in our statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income, and we credit bank or accounts payable. So product costs are included in inventory valuation, treated as an asset. We only expense it when we actually sell the inventory. On the other hand, our period costs are expensed in the period that they are incurred. They are not included in inventory valuation. So what costs can be classified as product costs and included in inventory valuation? Product costs are made up of three different types of costs: direct materials, direct labor, and manufacturing overheads. And these are the only three types of costs that can be classified as product costs and included in inventory valuation. All other costs will be classified as period costs, and they will be expensed in the period incurred. So let's go through each of these costs in more detail. What is direct material? Direct material is the material that becomes an identifiable component of the finished product. So I want you to assume we own a company and the company makes denim jeans. So if we make denim jeans, The direct material is going to be the denim that is used to make the jeans, because the denim is an identifiable component of the finished product. When I look at the finished product, I can see the denim that was used to make that product. So that is my direct material. So that is the first cost that we are allowed to include in the value of inventory, direct material. Direct labor should also be included in the value of inventory. So what is direct labor? This is the wages earned by the workers that actually work on the product. So these are the people who are working in the factory actually manufacturing these denim jeans. The cost of that labor is direct labor, and it should be included as a product cost in the cost of inventory. Then the last product cost we have is manufacturing overheads, and these are all of your other production-related costs. And manufacturing overheads are made up of 3 different components. They include indirect material, indirect labor, and other manufacturing costs. Let's look at each of these in more detail. First, what is indirect material? Please remember, direct material was material that becomes an identifiable component of the finished product. So if we have a factory that manufactures denim jeans, the denim that is used to manufacture the jeans is your direct material. On the other hand, indirect material can be one of 2 things. Either it is small, insignificant items, so for example, things like zips, buttons, and cotton thread. Because these are all small, insignificant items, it is not cost effective to trace the costs to individual products. So for example, we know that each pair of jeans requires a zip, it requires a button, it requires a certain amount of cotton thread. But because these items are insignificant, it's not worth costing them separately. It's not worth calculating the cost of one zip is 3 Rand, the cost of a button is maybe 5 Rand, and the cotton thread that is going to be used is maybe another 3 Rand. It's not worth costing those things separately because they are small, insignificant items. So those things are classified as indirect material. In addition to that, indirect material is also material that can't be traced to a specific product because it is used for all products rather than a specific product. So for example, machine oil. So let's say the company needs to buy oil for the sewing machines that are used to manufacture the denim jeans. We can't allocate that cost to one specific pair of jeans because the cost is not only incurred for one specific pair of jeans. That cost is incurred for the benefit of all jeans that are manufactured in that factory during this period. So it's used for all products rather than a specific product. So that is also classified as indirect material. So indirect material is one of 2 things. Either it's small, insignificant items where it's not worth costing those individually, or it is material that is used for the benefit of all products rather than one specific product. Then what is indirect labor? Please remember, direct labor is the wages earned by the workers that actually work on the product. So the people who are actually sitting at the sewing machines making the denim jeans. On the other hand, indirect labor still relates to employees that are working in the factory, however, they are not actually working on the product. But instead, they assist with the manufacturing process. So for example, it includes the salaries that are paid to factory cleaners, supervisors, and other employees who maybe oversee automated machines. So that is indirect labor. And your other manufacturing costs includes all other factory-related expenses. So things like factory rent, insurance on your factory building, insurance on factory equipment, depreciation on machinery, repairs and maintenance on your factory equipment, electricity used in the production process, etc. However, it's very important to note that all of these costs are costs that are incurred in a factory. In other words, they are manufacturing related. I'm not talking about the rent of your office building or depreciation on computer equipment that's used in your office. These are all factory-related costs. All right, so the only costs that we are allowed to include in inventory valuation are direct material, direct labor, and manufacturing overheads. Now, as the names suggest, both direct material and direct labor are direct costs, and your manufacturing overheads are indirect costs. Because remember, your manufacturing overheads includes indirect material and indirect labor. Now, this is important because direct costs can be traced to a particular product. On the other hand, indirect costs cannot be easily traced to a particular product, and instead the cost must be allocated to the product. So let's discuss this in a bit more detail. I said to you that the direct costs can be traced to a particular product. So what do I mean by that? Let's say, for example, we know that we need 3 meters of denim in order to make 1 pair of jeans, and the cost is 100 Rand per meter. So that means I can calculate, in order to make 1 pair of denim jeans, my direct material cost is going to be 300 Rand. I can calculate exactly what the cost is in order to make 1 unit. Or in other words, the cost can be traced to a particular product. The same applies to direct labor. Let's say, for example, it takes our workers 2 hours to make 1 pair of jeans, and we pay them 80 Rand an hour. That gives me a cost of 160 Rand per unit. I can trace the cost to a particular product. I know exactly what it costs in order to manufacture 1 unit. So those are direct costs. Direct costs can be traced to a particular product. I know that my direct material cost in order to make 1 unit is 300 Rand, and I know that my direct labor cost in order to make 1 unit is 160 Rand. On the other hand, I said to you that indirect costs cannot be easily traced to a particular product, and instead the cost must be allocated. So let's look at this in a bit more detail. Your manufacturing overheads are indirect costs, and your manufacturing overheads includes indirect material, indirect labor, and your other manufacturing costs. So for example, let's first look at the other manufacturing costs. This includes things like factory rent, insurance on your factory building, etc. Now you can see, let's say for example, we add together all of these other manufacturing costs for the year, and we get a total cost here of 500,000 Rand. It's not possible to trace that cost to an individual pair of jeans because that cost is not incurred just to make 1 pair of jeans. That cost is incurred for the benefit of all of the units that were manufactured in the factory during this period. So we can't easily just trace the cost to an individual product. The same applies to indirect labor. Indirect labor includes the salaries for factory cleaners, supervisors, employees who operate automated machines, etc. So let's say for the year, over here we had a total cost of 700,000 Rand. It's not possible to trace that cost to an individual pair of jeans because once again, the cost is incurred for the benefit of all units that are made in the factory in that period, and not specifically 1 pair of jeans. The same applies to indirect material. Remember, we said either indirect material includes material that is used for the benefit of all products rather than one specific product, like machine oil. So there again, we might have a cost for machine oil of 50,000 Rand for the year, We don't know what portion of that cost to trace to a particular product because, again, the cost is incurred for the benefit of all units that were made in the factory during that period. We also know that indirect material is made up of small, insignificant items. So we said it's not cost-effective to trace the cost to individual products because they have a low value. So things like zips, button, and cotton thread. We are not going to calculate what it costs to make one unit because it's not cost-effective. These are small, insignificant items. Instead, we are just going to take the total cost for the year and we will share it between all of the units that are made in the factory during that period. So let's say, for example, over here, we have a cost of 200,000 Rand for these small, insignificant items. So we said that indirect costs can't be traced to a particular product. Instead, we need to allocate the cost. So what we do is we add together our total manufacturing overhead cost for the year. So add together all of these costs over here. That is going to give me a total manufacturing overhead cost of 1,450,000 Rand for the year. So what we do is we take the total cost for the year and we allocate this to our product. Let's say, for example, the company budgeted that they were going to make 2,000 units this year. We divide that by 2,000 units, and it gives us 725 Rand per unit. So direct costs can be traced to a particular product. We know exactly what it costs to make one unit. On the other hand, indirect costs need to be allocated to the product. So we take the total indirect cost for the year, we divide by the number of units, and we allocate the cost. So for our manufacturing overheads, we are going to allocate a cost of 725 Rand per unit. So that gives me a total cost of 1,185 Rand per unit. So please make sure that you understand the difference between a direct cost, which we can trace to a particular product, and an indirect cost, which we can't trace, and we then need to allocate. All right, then just some other important terminology over here. If you are asked to calculate your prime cost is all of your direct costs. So it's your direct material and your direct labor cost. On the other hand, your conversion cost is the cost to convert your raw material into a finished product. So it doesn't include the raw material or the direct material cost. It is the cost to convert the raw material into a finished product. So how do we convert our raw material, or in other words, the denim, into a pair of jeans? We need to incur labor costs and manufacturing overhead costs in order to convert the denim into a pair of jeans. So please make sure you understand this important terminology over here, just in case that is asked. All right, guys, so that is everything that we need to know for cost classification. If a cost is classified as a product cost, so in other words, it relates to manufacturing, it's direct material, direct labor, or it's a manufacturing overhead, we include it in the value of inventory, and we only expense it when the inventory is sold. On the other hand, if it is not a manufacturing related cost, so it's a selling cost, a distribution cost, an admin cost, these costs are not included in the value of inventory, but instead they are expensed in the period incurred. Please make sure that you understand the difference between the two.